Japanese scary stories. Thank you for opening this video. I would be very happy if you could let me know in the comments what you think could be improved, what you liked, or what you would like to hear so that we can deliver better videos. Please lend force. Thank you. Please also subscribe to the channel.
The mysterious dream and the phone call. This eerie experience happened about a year after I got married. During that time, I was swamped with work, leaving home early and returning late at night. My wife had to deal with my erratic schedule, waiting for me late at night and waking up early to see me off, and I felt guilty for causing such inconvenience so early in our marriage. One night, after finishing work and collapsing onto the sofa, I fell asleep and had a strange dream. In the dream, I was on my way home when I was suddenly struck by a severe bout of dizziness. It grew worse and worse, and realizing I was in trouble, I called my wife's cell phone. She answered, but there was only silence on her end, no response at all. Confused and desperate, I blacked out. When I woke up, it was morning. I felt fine physically and attributed the strange dream to exhaustion. As I was getting ready for work, my wife asked, "Did you call me last night?" She showed me the missed call on her phone. The time of the call was when I was already asleep on the sofa. We both found it odd, but eventually shrugged it off as a bizarre coincidence, and I headed to work. That night, after another long day at work, I went to bed and had the same dream again. This time, the dream felt even more vivid. I was returning home from work, felt the same dizziness, and called my wife. She answered but remained silent, just like the previous night. Again, I woke up feeling disoriented, and my wife confirmed another missed call from me at the same time. By the third night, I was genuinely creeped out but too exhausted to dwell on it. I fell asleep quickly, only to have the same dream for the third time. The same sequence, dizziness, the phone call, and silence. This time, however, my wife woke up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom and heard her phone ringing. When she answered, she heard my voice, groaning in pain. She rushed to check on me, only to find me sound asleep in our bed. Hearing my wife's concerned voice, the call abruptly ended. By now, both of us were thoroughly unnerved. Despite the strange occurrences, I still had to go to work due to the hectic schedule. On my way home that evening, the real nightmare began. It wasn't a dream this time. I felt a sudden wave of dizziness and nausea, just like in the dreams. I staggered and tried to call my wife, but my consciousness started to fade. The next thing I knew, I was lying in a hospital bed with an IV in my arm. The doctor explained that I had collapsed from overwork and exhaustion. Reflecting on the past few months, I realized I had been working non-stop, even through weekends and holidays, leaving no time for a honeymoon. My wife had sensed something was wrong the moment she received my call. She believes that the strange dreams and calls were some sort of premonition, a warning that I was about to collapse. After this incident, my company finally reconsidered my workload and allowed me to take some time off. I used my accumulated leave to take a week-long vacation in Hawaii for a belated honeymoon, where I was able to fully relax and recover. Since then, I've returned to work with a much healthier schedule and haven't had that dream again. Was it just a nightmare, or was it some kind of forewarning? It remains one of the most mysterious and unsettling experiences of my life. The continuation of a nightmare. Have you ever had the same dream repeatedly or experienced a continuation of a dream? I had such a chilling dream once that I still can't shake it. In my dream, I was riding my bike along the river near my house at dusk. I kept pedaling and eventually found myself in a small wooded area, thick with trees. Strangely, I thought, I've been here before, even though I couldn't recall when. I parked my bike and ventured into the woods. Inside, the forest opened up into a vast, dome-like space. The eerie silence was unsettling, no rustling leaves, no birds, just dead silence. As I stood there, a large dog appeared beside me, and I started playing with it. Suddenly, I heard footsteps coming from deeper within the forest. When I looked up, I saw a man, probably in his 20s, with glasses and long, disheveled hair. "Hey! We meet again. I've been looking forward to seeing you," the man said, approaching me. "Let's continue from where we left off," he added. At those words, a wave of intense fear washed over me. I turned and bolted back to my bike, pedaling as fast as I could down the path I came from. "Why are you running away?" he shouted, his voice echoing behind me. I glanced back and saw him chasing me, his hair flying wildly. The terror was overwhelming. I pedaled harder, desperate to escape. When I finally dared to look back again, he was gone. Relief washed over me. I got away, I thought, turning my eyes back to the path ahead. But then, he was right there in front of me. "We'll meet again someday," he whispered, his eyes completely black. I woke up, drenched in sweat, my heart pounding. One thing puzzled me, the forest by the river, there's no such place near my house. Yet, it felt so familiar, as if I had visited it before in another dream. What had happened between me and the man with the black eyes? Since then, I haven't had the dream again, but the image of that man's haunting face is etched into my memory. Even now, I can't forget it. The expressionless man's face. I often learn about bad news through my dreams, and this time was no different. It was an ordinary night. I went to bed around 11 p.m., feeling a bit tired. Though it wasn't particularly hot, I found myself tossing and turning, plagued by a sense of unease. In my dream, I was staring into darkness. Everywhere I looked, it was just dim and eerie. Suddenly, a man's face emerged from the shadows, staring at me with an emotionless expression. I didn't recognize him. His face hovered about a meter away from me, staring directly into my eyes. After a while, his expression shifted, showing a mix of sorrow and agony, before reverting to that hauntingly blank stare. He didn't look like a ghost, he looked like a regular person, but his skin was dull and lifeless. I saw this face for 3 nights straight. I thought I had no connection to him until one day, watching the news, I discovered who he was. There was a report about an accident, and the victim was the man from my dream. He was a neighbor from where I used to live, a friendly man who always greeted me warmly. The news confirmed my suspicion. He had died instantly in the accident, but the look on his face in my dream seemed to convey his regret and despair over his untimely death. Since then, I haven't seen his face again, but the memory of those nights still chills me to the bone.